As we begin the fourth hour on this Reaction Monday, welcome back in. This is Three Man Front. Pat, Landrum, Molly with you until 2 o'clock. Conrad will be back with us on Wednesday. We're awaiting Kalen DeBoer. He is having a Zoom press conference, and we hope to join that momentarily from Tuscaloosa as everybody gets lined up down there. Hear from Kalen DeBoer as the Tide gets ready for their Oklahoma opponent on Friday in the college football playoff. So we'll see if anybody ask him a question in regards to his statement that was released yesterday, in regards to his family being happy, his commitment to the University of Alabama. If he is asked about it, I'm sure that he will just immediately point to the statement that was released yesterday. So we're awaiting him as he is going to get in front of the camera here momentarily, and we will carry that for you in just a couple of minutes.
A lot of your texts coming in 205-834-9450. Do want to tell you about our friends at Prize Picks. You can join millions of users. Sign up today for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is simple to play. You pick more or less on at least two player stats. If you get the picks right, you can cash in. We do have Monday football going on from the professional ranks, Pat, if I said that correctly. And that would be Miami taking on Pittsburgh.
Ooh, gonna be cold.
It is going to be a little bit chilly.
14 degrees.
I'm so sad that Conrad is not here. I will let you play the role of Conrad Van Order. Let's go live.
It's afternoon. All right. Good afternoon. Just got off the practice field, having to coach those receivers a little bit more and help out. I'm a little more winded than normal. So, just a couple of things. Just back to work. Had some great practices at the end of last week. Guys had graduation. I have to make a note, 37 guys that got their degrees that are on our football team, 26 new players that have a degree. And so super proud of that. We worked our schedule on Saturday around that. Some had a practice later, actually got underneath the lights, was really good. And then got back to work again yesterday with some meetings and such. And then today, more of a full practice. You can try to talk me into today's Monday, but Tuesday in our world because of a Friday game. And so again, getting ready for that, and Coach Venables and Oklahoma, a very good football team here for a reason. And, 10-2 record, just they play team football like it's meant to be played. And we know we're going to go into an environment that's going to be rowdy. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And, our guys got to be ready for that. And I feel like we've been prepared through the SEC schedule that we've been on here all season. So got a few more days. We got to keep stacking practices, but really excited about the progress and, like the direction it's headed.
So let's just start with Vic front right.
Yeah, just for clarity's sake, so things aren't left up to interpretation. Are you going to be the coach of Alabama next year?
Man, come on, Nick. All right, I put a statement out yesterday because first of all, our guys handle distractions phenomenally. It's been that way all season long. They continue to do that. And so, but I also, knew that yesterday and today was pretty important. I wasn't going to see until today to address it. So that's why I put that out there. A lot of the same things I said before, a couple of weeks ago when asked really the same question. Just, feel completely supported. My family loves living here. Just all the things that we continue to build on. Love the progress. Haven't talked with anyone. No plans of talking with anyone. So I think that's a lot of what I said a couple weeks ago, and continues to be the same thing. Feel strong about it. And our guys, if there's been any distraction, I haven't seen it, haven't felt it. And so I'm really proud of the way they've handled whatever noise is out there. And again, we've probably all season long have dealt with enough noise to where it doesn't surprise me on how they handle this.
Katie, second row in the middle left.
You said after the SEC championship that it wasn't really a confidence issue for Ty, more continuity with the offense, just kind of with a couple extra days to get healthy leading into this game. What's the continuity looked like this week on offense?
Yeah, it's been better, I thought, as a team, and that would include obviously the offense on Saturday. Today's Monday. I told you guys are gonna try talking me into Monday, but Saturday, it was one of our best practices we've had in a long time, and across the board, and just the it starts with energy, but just the execution for where we were at with our installation. And, we continue to build on that. You're a little bit ahead because, we have these extra days. So with third downs, red zone, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there is more continuity. There's guys that are healthier. It's up front, offensive line wise. It's the receiving core, and other guys that are continued to build into more reps as we work through the week, and hope that continues to be the case here moving forward.
Just for clarification and going back to Nick's question, will you be the coach at Alabama next
Yeah,
season?
planning on it. Yes, Nick. Yes, Charlie. Yes. Yes.
Jump over to the left side of the room to Chase.
When Oklahoma won here about a month ago, some of their players got on the logo at the 50-yard line, taking pictures and so forth while staff was trying to get it roped off. Some of your players addressed that earlier this week. What were your thoughts about that?
I guess I wasn't aware of that. Now I am, so I'm going to talk to our team about it. So, I guess I did remember seeing something with a roped off. I didn't know, what the extent of what that was. So, yeah, I mean, that probably gives you an idea. To me, this is about this game. This is about our playoff game. I mean, we respect who they are as a football team. They've obviously got the better side of things the last two times we played, and so that's really where our focus is at. And I do remember something vaguely about that. It hasn't really even been a conversation in our meetings. This has been solely about we're in the playoffs. It's win or go home, and we need to be given everything we can to be in our best, and the work that is ahead.
On the front left, Collins next.
Kalen, you mentioned a little bit about this earlier, but with the distraction of, the rumors and there's other things too, but how have you seen players kind of respond, especially with, them having to answer questions about kind of your place here and things like that, and things seemingly everything outside of, the playoff against Oklahoma? How have you seen players respond to that?
I mean, outside of knowing that there was a question or two, I think at the end of last week, it's been non-existent. I mean, it really has. Our guys are focused on Oklahoma. They really are. I mean, that's where that's what we've been completely focused on, and I haven't seen anything other than that. Again, these guys deal with noise, and they know that that's what it is. What's internal is what matters.
Grace.
Hey, coach, can you just give an update on the injuries? I know that a lot of guys are trying to get healthy from SEC championship until now. What's the overall health of the team at?
Can you help me out on like who you're looking for here?
Yeah, we saw Jam out there today, just his progress along
yep.
with Parker Brailsford, Cam DeBoer, a few of those guys.
Yep. Jam, he said Parker. Parker's doing good. He's been practicing. Jam, he's making good progress. Just kind of continue to see how the week goes along. You guys saw him out there doing some things today. Who else? Cuevas, very similar to Jam, making progress out there, doing some work, and really, I guess you're optimistic at this point. We still got four days left, so those guys are heading a good direction, making good progress, and continue to evaluate them leading forward. But you saw them out there doing some things today in practice.
Go to the back middle of the room to Joe.
Coach, with the recent success on the road this season, what's been your message to the team? Like, have you changed anything up from last season? You had a couple of follies on the road, and this year much more successful on the road. And then kind of combined with that, you already touched on it with the playoff and the privilege. How do you handle kind of the finality of win or go home?
Mm-hmm. As far as differences from this year to last year, and first of all, we've played much better. 4-0 in the conference games, and so in really strong environments. I mean, we maybe show up a little bit later or a little bit earlier, just like an hour or two. I mean, it's really nothing major. Things that we worked into our schedule. We still do our team meeting on the road. We still do position meetings and stuff. So really not a lot that we change. I think it's all about the mindset that when you're in the moment, how you're going to respond, because you don't have your home crowd. And I think that's where, we've executed better in the critical situations. And that was kind of a theme going in with the off season that I've really stressed to you and as well as the team. And so, I think we've just been better in those moments, because these games do come down to the wire. And the one game we didn't make the critical plays was this one at home, you know, so we've actually done a pretty good job on the road. But that's really been where I think we've improved to be better on the road in these type of games.
Mike, back right.
One more injury, LT Overton. Just wanted to see where he stands.
Just with LT, continue to monitor him. I would not say he's doubtful for this weekend.
We have one last question from the Zoom, Eli Letterman on ESPN. Go ahead, Eli.
Hey, Kalen. I know the focus is very tight on this week, but you've seen Brent Venables earlier this fall, prepped for him. You've got him again this week. And I'm curious from a kind of 10,000-foot view, what are the elements that make his defensive play calling and the way he approaches leading a defense in game distinct from your perspective?
Well, obviously play calling is a huge part of it, but I think it's the design of the defense and, you know, your play caller have be on the same page with the defense that's out there and how they attack and, you know, the variety and the diversity of what they do in their different packages. You know, they got great players too. And so up front, they just do a great job of causing chaos and, you know, they love the tackles for loss and the sacks. And there's obviously a trigger man, and Coach Venables being one of the best that there is at doing it. You know, obviously he's running the show, and so you know, always got a ton of respect for what he does. But they have an attacking mindset. You know, there's no question about it, and one of the best in the country at doing it.
That is Kalen DeBoer. You heard those comments live. Wow, what a last 10 minutes of this radio station. Amazing audio. And it's pretty amazing, Landrum, what we just heard. Nick Kelly right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate, Nick.
Nick, who joined us at 10:15 today, he asked him if he'll be coaching at Alabama next year. He did not give a yes or no answer to Nick.
And his tag team partner,
yeah, Charlie Potter
off the top rope.
From Bama Online, he immediately asked again if he will be the coach at Alabama next year. At that point in time, he said yes. So there you go. There is the money quote.
Yep. So now that you get a definitive answer, then if he did choose to leave, you could call him a liar, like a lot of other coaches.
Buy my T-shirt at patsmith.com.
Over the past few years, right? We do have professional football coming up. Prize Picks join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app today. It's simple to play. You just pick more or less on Prize Picks on at least 2 player stat projections. You get the picks right, you can cash in. We have professional football going on tonight. Tua Tagovailoa. He is the quarterback for Conrad's Dolphins at Pittsburgh. Cold weather, 195.5 passing yards, more or less.
Less.
Going to go less on that one. DK Metcalf, he is a wide receiver for Pittsburgh, 55.5 receiving yards, more or less. I'm going to go more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Go more with that. All right, we'll go less on Tua, more on DK. We hit both of those player stat projections. We win. You can be a winner too. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX. $50 in lineups after the first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Also, DeBoer said today on some injured players, Jam Miller was actually out on the practice field today. DeBoer on Josh Cuevas, he says making progress out there doing some work. He's optimistic. So we'll see if that plays into – I mean, that'd be huge because Cuevas has kind of been obviously Ty Simpson's kind of go-to guy. And when he needs a guy to catch the pass and get a first down, it is Cuevas for sure. We will break down what we just heard from Coach Kalen DeBoer right out of the gate. Nick Kelly asked the question. We will discuss that. Take your calls and your texts. This is 3-Man Front on Jocks.
118, Kalen DeBoer, his comments, very interesting. Pressed right out of the gate by Nick Kelly, who joined us in the first hour, covers Alabama for AL.com, and then followed up Charlie Potter, who asked the question about Penn State during the press conference SEC championship game week there from Atlanta, asking that question, and then following up and wanting clarification. And Pat, there's no turning back now. It's right there. Asked directly if he would answer the question, and Kalen DeBoer did, and said that he would be the head coach at Alabama. What was it, next season?
Yes, we'll play those comments. I'm just sitting here watching
in real time,
and Pete Thamel on ESPN right now. They still have Kalen DeBoer listed as a potential candidate. He's got Jeff Brom, Kalen DeBoer, Clark Lee, Eli Drinkwitz, and PJ Fleck.
I think it's going to be one of those final three that you just named.
So we played it for you live just moments ago on Jocks. This is Nick Kelly's question about him being the coach at Alabama next season. You're going to hear a non-answer, and then Charlie Potter will follow it up.
Yeah, just for clarity's sake, so things aren't left up to interpretation, are you going to be the coach of Alabama next year?
Man, come on, Nick. All right, I put a statement out yesterday because first of all, our guys handle distractions phenomenally. It's been that way all season long. They continue to do that. And so, but I also, knew that yesterday and today was pretty important. I wasn't going to see until today to address it. So that's why I put that out there. A lot of the same things I said before, a couple of weeks ago when asked really the same question. Just, feel completely supported. My family loves living here. Just all the things that we continue to build on. Love the progress. Haven't talked with anyone. No plans of talking with anyone. So I think that's a lot of what I said a couple of weeks ago, and it continues to be the same thing. Feel strong about it. And our guys, if there's been any distraction, I haven't seen it, haven't felt it. And so I'm really proud of the way they've handled whatever noise is out there. And again, we've probably all season long have dealt with enough noise to where it doesn't surprise me on how they handle this.
Just for clarification and going back to Nick's question, will you be the coach at Alabama next season?
Yeah, plan on it. Yes. Nick, yes. Charlie, yes.
There you go.
Well, that I would say by given the two questions that he got, Kalen DeBoer, that could not have gone better for Nick or for Charlie. Just given his personality, don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, Langstrom and I were talking about this during a commercial break, and
we could be proven wrong. But you had the same inclination in thinking about this that I did.
This is my broadcast professional opinion. Take it for what it's worth. I don't think he's as polished as certain coaches out there in regards to coach speak. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Kalen DeBoer could get up there and bold-faced lie and carry on like some coaches that we've known at both Alabama and Auburn and other SEC schools.
No,
does that make sense, what I just said?
Absolutely. And that's kind of the same thing I was thinking was maybe he's a little bit bewildered why he keeps getting asked this question. And then he puts out the statement and he's thinking, okay, that'll put it to rest. But given the track history, the track record of coaches in these similar situations and what we have witnessed, not only in this state, but across college football, we're more dialed into it and looking for the what didn't he say as opposed to what he did say. And Kalen DeBoer doesn't strike me as someone who has been really tied up in, I think what you said. You're not calling him naive, but
I mean, listen, the guy that he took over for, he lied. He lied multiple times. I will not be the head coach at Alabama. Period. End of discussion.
That's what the third question should have been. Kalen, just will you say that you will not be the head coach at Michigan next year?
I mean, but I go back to what you said. I mean, he's probably sitting there going,
I don't know how to, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not, because it's not meant to be insulting in any way. I just think that It doesn't strike me. I'm like you, as someone who is like, all right, how can I wordsmith my way around this? Where I don't have to give a definitive answer, or you know what, I'm going to tell them what they want to hear right now, and then I'll deal with the repercussions later. They won't care in Ann Arbor. Doesn't strike me as that guy. Now, Lane Kiffin. We're not dealing with Lane Kiffin here.
No, we're not. So I'm going to our favorite Michigan website. I'm seeing what kind of reaction, because it's just ironic because so ESPN played the comments of Kalen DeBoer, and then Pete Thamel comes on camera, and they still have Kalen DeBoer listed per Pete Thamel. I mean, listen, Michigan can pursue, but that doesn't mean that it's reciprocal on the Kalen DeBoer end. So,
now Posey on the text line. Technically, he answered coach next year, so that's only 2 more weeks. So I guess what Posey's saying is Kalen DeBoer could be the head coach at Alabama January 1, but could also be the head coach at Michigan January 3.
It's all semantics. That's exactly what that is. Yeah.
He said year, not season. All right, so we already have Isaac in Birmingham. Oh, gosh. Back to my performance. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate it. I don't know how I stayed still for so long. Had a performance at our church, in case you're wondering, that we did our Christmas performance yesterday. I played a TV host. Apparently, we have some listeners that go to our church, and we appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, can't read that one. Kalen sounds chipper. He must have gotten that big extension. He looked like he lost some weight. Did he not look thinner to you?
It looks like he's in.
Molly, you say yes too.
I thought so.
Yeah, I mean, he looks good. You think it's stress, or do you think he's just doing what a lot of people do, and that's dropping so you can overindulge at Christmas time? And some of that hot dish casserole appetizer thing that his aunt in South Dakota used to make.
Oh yeah,
right?
the hot dish.
You have the hot dish.
Oh yeah.
Right. This one reads, if today's Michigan would have happened 20 years ago, would they be staring at the barrel of the gun the way that Alabama was?
Absolutely, they would have.
Yeah.
No doubt. Alabama's program almost got shut down by the NCAA. Very close to being shut down.
Steve Helena, when will fans of all fan bases realize college football has changed? Championships are harder than ever to win. Temper your expectations. I'm an Alabama fan for 70 years, and it's embarrassing what some of our fans are saying. We have a great coach. Give him time. Geez. Don't forget Tommy Tuberville, JD in Birmingham, says to Ole Miss he wasn't leaving unless he was in a pine box. A week later, he was at Auburn.
That's Teflon Tommy, though. He's also now a politician.
And this one reads, Pat, when Nick gave his infamous denial, it was after Bama left chasing him to find another candidate. We gave him the old, we're Bama, and we want an answer now. He told Mal to kick rocks. When no offers emerged or accepted, Bama went back to Saban.
Was there a question in there, or was that just a statement?
I guess it was a statement.
Oh, okay.
Just a revisit. What can be done to postpone these coaching changes until the season's actually over? Almost every playoff has lost coaches. We're not getting the best product. Seems like it's just a rush until next year. We don't know that yet, though. Ole Miss might look great. Again, Tulane could look great. Maybe James Madison looks really, really good. (800-239-WJOX). It's going to be him, dog.
I think DeBoer is probably really happy and he does look thinner because he did get an extension and he now can afford Ozempic because since insurance doesn't cover it anymore. So yeah, he's very happy.
Ozempic.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, quick question, guys, because I generally don't know the answer to this. I know how the buyouts work when coaches get fired. But for example, Kirby Smart's buyout is like a crazy $118 million. If he was to leave for another college job, does the other team have to pay his buyout, and or if he leaves for the NFL, does an NFL team have to pay that buyout back to the school? And I'll hang up and listen, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, brother.
Typically in those contracts, it's negotiated. Like, for instance, I'm sitting here looking over DeBoer's contract for some odd reason, and it says that he has to pay the University of Alabama $4 million in 2025 if he wanted to leave to another school.
One more time.
$4 million if Kalen DeBoer wants to leave Alabama this year. Next year, it drops to $3 million. We already told you Eli Drinkwitz's buyout at Missouri is $4 million. Excuse me, $5 million. DeBoer's is $4 million. But if Alabama wanted to fire Kalen DeBoer just because they think he's a lousy coach,
nothing related to like what you got
from
Michigan, or Jeremy Pruitt with not near to the extent or even in that ballpark
right.
What happened at Michigan, but back then it was the NCAA and rules being broken.
It'd be about $60 million that Alabama would have to pay DeBoer to not coach anymore.
These big buyouts. I mean, LSU paid theirs. We know that Texas A&M, they paid theirs with Jimbo. Penn State's paying theirs.
And if I'm not mistaken, Alabama
we
paid.
continue to see big buyouts.
Alabama paid Washington $12 million to buy out DeBoer's contract at Washington. So
that's steep these days.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But here we are. If he wants to leave or go elsewhere, it would cost $4 million for somebody to come get Kalen DeBoer.
Clark Lee for that job. I could see that working, but what's Marcus Freeman going to do at Notre Dame? Because that would be my first call if I was Pete Bavacqua. Clark Lee, guys familiar with South Bend, served there as a coach. You saw what he just did in Nashville. But I could see Clark Lee fitting at Michigan.
Clark Lee would.
And Clark Lee, not only by what he's been able to do at Vanderbilt, especially in the last 2 seasons, but Clark Lee did himself, I think, a lot of favors going and having interviews and talking. Just based on what I've heard and someone who had interaction with Clark Lee in this last round of coaching carousel, that he was one of the most impressive candidates that they had ever talked to. And it wasn't just one sit down, it was multiple sit downs. Having dinner with Clark Lee, finding out more about Clark Lee. They were blown away, was their reaction to how impressive he was.
We will continue to discuss what's going on with Kalen DeBoer, if anything, in regards to the Michigan job. All that straight ahead as we roll on this Reaction Monday on Jocks. It is 1:35 on this Reaction Monday. A reminder, we'll be at Social Taco beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Doors open up officially at 11. We'll be there until 2 o'clock. You know, for more than 4 decades, Alabama Professional Services, they've been the trusted choice for pest control, termite protection, lawn care, fertilization, and more. The certified statewide teams at APS, they're experts. They're friendly, efficient, and reliable. You need to call them today, 205-951-9717. APS proudly serves homeowners and businesses across Alabama, including Birmingham, Montgomery, and Huntsville, surrounding communities as well. Call today, request your free, no obligation estimate, 205-951-9717, or just simply go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com.
Have interesting coaching moves, staffs being put together as we speak. Transfer portal is going to be open very, very soon. In case you missed it, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway announcing his intention after meeting with the staff of entering the transfer portal, possible destinations for him, possible destinations for injured Nebraska quarterback, as it seems right now, Dylan Raiola, and potentially where he could be going. Let me throw you one out there. He played his high school ball there in Arizona at some point before he transferred, right? What about maybe replacing a Sam Levitt at Arizona State?
That would be a good place. I see where Sam Levitt's name is already being mentioned for the LSU job as well. So it seems like LSU is going to be in the market.
Are they just going to have auditions? Is that what that's going to be? LSU just having quarterbacks that they come and they throw for Lane?
Yeah.
One day it'll just be like his eval day.
Or throw for Knox. Hey, Knox, take him out there.
Yeah, take him out there.
Check him out.
How many elite quarterbacks going to be on that roster? Interesting. He was able to get some good quarterbacks while he was in Oxford. Oh, just imagine the opportunities there in Baton Rouge, Pat.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. If you missed it at the top of the hour, just a few moments ago,
folks.
just a couple minutes ago, Kalen DeBoer gave his CFP press conference, and Nick Kelly had the first question out of the gate, had to do with Michigan, Charlie Potter with the assist.
Yeah, just for clarity's sake, so things aren't left up to interpretation, are you going to be the coach of Alabama next year?
Man, come on, Nick. All right, I put a statement out yesterday because first of all, our guys handle distractions phenomenally. It's been that way all season long. They continue to do that. And so, but I also, knew that yesterday and today was pretty important. I wasn't going to see until today to address it. So that's why I put that out there. A lot of the same things I said before, a couple of weeks ago when asked really the same question. Just, feel completely supported. My family loves living here. Just all the things that we continue to build on. Love the progress. Haven't talked with anyone. No plans of talking with anyone. So I think that's a lot of what I said a couple weeks ago, and it continues to be the same thing. Feel strong about it. And our guys, if there's been any distraction, I haven't seen it, haven't felt it. And so I'm really proud of the way they've handled whatever noise is out there. And again, we've probably all season long have dealt with enough noise to where it doesn't surprise me on how they handle this.
Just for clarification and going back to Nick's question, will you be the coach at Alabama next season?
Plan on it. Yes. Nick, yes. Charlie, yes.
There you go. Now, Molly, we've had some people on social media tweet into the show, and I think someone being a Michigan fan, they kind of pointed out the reason why he finally answered the question.
Yeah, DeBoer didn't want to answer the question. He finally had to say no to get on with the press conference. It's far from over.
And that's kind of what Sam Webb said. If you missed that, you can go download the Sam Webb interview in which he basically said the same thing, that he didn't believe it was over.
Okay, I'll play along. I'll play along, Pat.
Okay.
Would Alabama, let's just say Michigan said, okay, we're going to make money the issue here. We've got so much money that
Alabama's not paying $15 million. Alabama's not going to pay him $13 or $14 million.
Your contract is your contract. We'll give another year, maybe.
He's making like $10.5 million, or in accelerators up to like $11 million. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you.
No, that was my thing. Is how much more money would it take that to lure him out of Tuscaloosa? $20 million a year?
I think the only thing that could potentially, like, literally lure him out of Tuscaloosa was if Michigan presents something on paper that basically says, we will give you a $50 million roster every single year. Alabama's not doing that.
No.
I mean, that's honestly, that's the only thing that I think Michigan could offer that would get his attention. I don't think, listen, I think Alabama paid him quite handsomely to leave Seattle, Washington to come to the SEC. A lot of people kind of went, wow, you giving him that much money? So, I mean, just my opinion, the only thing Michigan could do, I mean, okay, great. We're going to pay you $14 million a year.
But last year at this time, I'm not saying it wasn't a lot, it was. But 2 years ago when he was hired, $11 million, that was the peak, and it was your Kirby Smarts, your Dabo Sweeney's, who else making that kind of money. But now it seems like whether it's Eli Drinkwitz or guys we don't consider to be those elite of the elite, they're making $10 million. That's how quickly it's changed. Yeah, guys taking over Power 4 programs that have never been a head coach at that level that are starting out at $8-9 million a year. That's changed. Maybe I'm foolish at taking Kalen DeBoer at his word. But also the repeated questions, why would you want to follow Nick Saban? Why would you want that kind of pressure? Embracing the pressure and then just thinking about all of the criticism where it looks like you tuck tail and run.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't handle the pressure.
I mean, he basically said he wanted.
I just can't see that.
It's not like at the very beginning of his career, he said, my goal in life is to be the head coach of the University of Michigan. That's never come out of his mouth. So you took the job in Tuscaloosa because it was a challenge. And so now it's getting a little bit difficult or more difficult, and you're ready to tuck tail and run to Michigan. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Same thing why it didn't make sense to me when the Penn State job came open. I just like that makes no sense. He has no allegiance to either one of those schools. You would be leaving the SEC for the Big Ten. I know he's an upper Midwest guy. That would make sense if he wants to get to Michigan, I guess. But if you want competition, why would you leave the conference that's got 5 teams in the college football playoff? If you didn't coach in a conference that was that competitive, you wouldn't be in the CFP.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I've gone through way too many of these, but I know it's semantics, but I'm glad Charlie did ask the follow-up, because what you heard from Nick Kelly, he did not answer the question. But now he's boxed in because he said, yes, he will be the coach next year. So, but again, Nick Saban said he wasn't going to be the coach at Alabama.
Not that this
was coach at Alabama.
Not that Friday's outcome hinges on it, but this would be a great time to change up anything or any promises or assurances that you make. Do it before Friday, right?
I go back to the whole Lane Kiffin stuff at Ole Miss. I don't understand, and maybe it's just the arrogance of these people. If you really didn't know what you were going to do one way or another, you simply say the following: I am not discussing this until the season officially ends, whether that's in Miami, me holding up the trophy for the national championship, or we get beaten Norman, Oklahoma. I am not talking about this, period. End of discussion. That's all you got to do. And then that gives you the wiggle room where at the end of the season, if you are courting or flirting with another school, then that gives you carte blanche to do whatever you want to do once the season ends. That's why, just to understand the whole Lane Kiffin stuff, like putting a timetable on it, like Saturday, going to give you an answer Saturday.
Well, and if there was another factor that would potentially prompt him to go and leave to take another job, if it was family, but you don't go out of your way talking about how much your family appreciates everything my family's happy, and you don't go at length, do you? Go out of your way if that's an underlying reason. Just trying to think of any reason why he would that job specifically right now?
We'll see. We'll see if Friday night's game has anything to do with the Michigan head coaching search. We roll on this Reaction Monday. This is Jocks. Couple more minutes before we say so long for the afternoon. We'll be back here tomorrow. Actually, we'll be at Social Taco tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock. Hopefully, you'll have an opportunity to come out and see us. It will be the final Tuesday that we will be there before Christmas.
You gonna wear your Christmas sweater tomorrow?
I don't own a Christmas sweater.
You don't?
I do not.
I'm gonna find you one.
I'm good. Thank you, though.
That's just something Don had requested for Christmas.
Oh. Sorry I couldn't participate. Maybe next year.
It's going to be sweater weather.
Yes, it will.
At least for a couple more days.
Mm-hmm. It will be. If you missed any of our interviews, I strongly recommend that you go back and take a listen to Curtis Fitzpatrick. Good old Irish name. From our sister station in Oklahoma City. Broke down the Alabama game against Oklahoma. Sam Webb from the Michigan Insider, part of the 247 network. He is a reporter who is steadfast in his belief that Kalen DeBoer is still a name of interest and potentially whatever happens on Friday could either speed up or kill the candidacy of Kalen DeBoer. You had Pete Thamel just a couple minutes ago on ESPN still listed Kalen DeBoer as one of the potential candidates for the Michigan job. And you heard what Kalen DeBoer said himself out of his own mouth in regards to his future and that he will be the head coach at Alabama next year.
What some of you are saying on the text line, 205-834-9450. Richard, a great listener to the show, says y'all have covered the possible DeBoer to Michigan story as well as can be done. Clapping emojis. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Happy holidays. Hey, guys, didn't all the noise start when everyone said Nick Saban was leaving for Texas and it was pretty much a done deal that never happened? What start?
Well, there was a little bit of true smoke to that. A few years later, one of the biggest donors at the University of Texas, Tom Hicks, who was ultimately bought the Texas Rangers from George W. Bush, he was the guy that had the money lined up ready to make Nick Saban not only the richest guy in college football, but was just going to give him a deal that he could not turn down. That was real. That was legitimate. But no, she was never, I'm talking about Miss Terry, she was never in Austin looking at houses. That was the rumor that we would take every single day on the Feinbaum show. Oh, yeah, she was in Austin. She was looking at houses. To the point, Paul and I were on game day in Tuscaloosa. We were on the bus with Terry Saban, and Terry looked at Paul and says, you know, I was in Austin this week looking at houses. And that was kind of a running joke. Like anytime you would see Miss Terry, she'd talk about her visiting some other city looking at houses.
This text reads, it's all really embarrassing. People just need to stop poking the fire. Those kinds of people always just want to start the drama. RTR. What are sources saying that he's going to wear in Norman? South Dakota guy, the chilly weather probably doesn't bother him too much, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Just a hoodie, maybe a base layer. He's so skinny, he might have to put on more clothes. Kalen DeBoer, in case you missed it, looks like he's lost a little bit of weight. Looks healthy, though. I am quickly scanning this one. All right. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the show. It's the best. Good discussion and information without the idiotic callers. Some, but not all of them, in parentheses. Been a Bama fan since the mid-'60s. Have seen it all. Proud to have Coach DeBoer. Anyone who doesn't feel that way is not a true fan. I think DeBoer is totally honest, speaks from his heart. On another note, I'm totally tickled Notre Dame got left out of the college football playoff. Got what they deserve. I wish I could buy them for what they're worth and sell them for what they think they're worth. RTR forever, Byron. Very nice. And Merry Christmas, Byron. Appreciate you. Enjoying the show today in regards to players skipping bowl games or universities not requiring players who accept NIL payments to complete the season. Based on the understanding that I have on a lot of these, the competition is so great for a lot of these players and the money being what it is that a lot of these schools don't want to put those kind of clauses in there because you'll have another school that said, all right, we're not going to include that clause for your services. Pat, you agree?
I do.
They just want to get the guy there. They'll worry about there when they get to it.
Mm-hmm.
They need that guy for 12 games. So they get another rollover in their contract. If Bama plays a clean game with no turnovers, has 100 yards rushing and 300 yards passing, do they win the game? Yeah, I think so. Well, that just depends. What's your red zone look like? How many times is Talty asked to kick a field goal? Appreciate all the text today. 205-834-9450. Love your interaction. I'm sure we'll have plenty more interaction. Tomorrow we're at Social Tacos, Pat mentioned. Hopefully you will join us before we get into, well, we get a couple of shows next week, but we get into the week of Christmas and a lot of schedules changing. But one thing that remains the same, the college football schedule. Got bowl games tomorrow night on through the week, and then we lead you up to Friday. Full coverage tomorrow. We'll talk to Mike Griffith, who covers the SEC for Dog Nation, and many others. Join us at Social Taco. Podcast available, jocksfm.com. From all of us to all of you, God is great.